Left in a rogue hand bare to stare. Where did you go to nowhere? What did you have that to eat? But nothing you had to fast for the changing of the slow for the huge foolish project. Makes hues. Absolutely no difference in what people think of you. Dying for the mineral.
Left in a rogue hand bare to stare. Where did you go to nowhere? What did you have that to eat? But nothing you had to fast for the changing of the slow for the huge foolish project. Makes hues. Absolutely no difference in what people think of you. Die for the minerality to become a vegetable for the animality and becoming a man and why you fear disappearance for. Next time I shall bring forth the wings and the feathers like the angels and soaring higher than the angels and whether you cannot imagine.
Left in a rogue hand bare.
Left in a rogue hand bare to stare. Left in a rogue hand bare to stare. Left in a rogue hand bare to stare. Where did you go to nowhere? What did you have that to eat? But nothing you had to fast for the changing of the slow for the huge foolish project. Makes hues. Absolutely no difference in what people think of you. Die for the minerality to become a vegetable for the animality and becoming a man and why you fear disappearance for. Next time I shall bring forth the wings and the feathers like the angels and soaring higher than the angels and whether you cannot imagine that shall be or not. The soul receives for the soul their knowledge and therefore not the book of the tongue. Knowledge of the mysteries and comforting, emptiness of the mind, illumination of the heart. Yet thou, I can activate really. Left in a rogue hand bare to stare. Where did you go to nowhere? What did you have that to eat? But nothing you had to fast for the changing of the slow for the huge foolish project. Makes hues. Absolutely no difference in what people think of you. Die for the minerality to become a vegetable for the animality and becoming a man and why you fear disappearance for. Next time I shall bring forth the wings and feathers like the angels and soaring higher than the angels and whether you cannot imagine that shall be or not. The soul receives for the soul their knowledge and therefore not the book of the tongue. Knowledge of the mysteries and comforting, emptiness of the mind, illumination of the heart. Yet thou, activate, brilliant. See, at every moment of response and be the action observed, and whatever is pure heart, and something is born to, you go consequence with every action. You be harsh like such, reply for good, for the ransom and spite, whoever enters. Smite on the brow, for this shrine, for the love, fool, you sheep for the gold, rub their eyes for the damage, image of the heart, make yourself wrong for the self, for the one stroke, for the sword, for the never the trace, for the soft iron, for the steel mirror, cast a squire, rest off your contribution, and the star without unseen, what marvelous routes did you take with the rugby cunning? Beating with the wings and feathers you broke with the breeze of the tears you rising up to the sky, tamed from the red soda you broke. Eyes out, trapped by no woman. Hearts runners call for the flowing of beyond space and time, lovesick. Nightingale with human flowing long hours. Came to the center rose garden to flow off to meet the rose. Wine to the fleeting world cause you heal the ache. Finally you joined to the tide and you turned it like an arrow. Spare for the road with the wind straight. To the bullseye for the bliss and phantom for giving you false sides and turn from the illusion of your journey. Land of the truth. Now the sun, having to reach for the crow, having to reach for this road, you never have the time for you to go. You better see the soul with you by look at all yours is the soul of souls, the seer for the old heart, wonderful bird I am, seeking the heights and flapping of the wings and you smash me the spears of your enemy. Flowers flee, autumn, you are fearless, rose that grows amidst the freezing wind. Left in the road, 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 hand bare to stare. Left in the road, hand bare to stare. Left in the road, left in the road, hand bare to stare. Where did you go to nowhere? What did you have that to eat? But nothing you had to fast for the changing of the slow. But still you call it whatever the price of vice you substance for the working, but allowing some magical reversal to occur. You see this scorpion pit for the objects of desire, but all the beautiful expanses around it, and the dangerousness swarming with the snakes and the ends is how you shred the strain of fear, death, and the emptiness, and whatever how you perverse the attachments to what you want. Now that you have heard me, for the misapprehensions with the listening at the altars and adders of the same subject, string for the parts, pearls, key for the monks, spoils, adopted for the son, educated for the providing of the royalty, for the boy later made for the vice regent, regent seated on the gold throne beside the cell. One day you found a young man weeping, while you, the companion of the emperor, entire nations is rained out. Before you light stars with the man, the young man, memory, of the father with how this could be, the way that you fear for the changing of the, which means spread to the end for the spirit, poverty, emptiness, attachment, beliefs, blood ties, the desires, comforting habits, not listening to, the seem to protect with the imprison. They are the worst enemies and they make you afraid for the living emptiness, and someday you will weep with the tears of the delight in the court. Remember the mistaken the parents, know for the embodied your nature and spirit, help it grow for the growing device. Body becomes eventually like a vest in the chainmail for the peaceful years, not too hot. Something too cold to the winters of the body's desires. Another way for the emperor to disassociate. You must be patient with and the companion, helpful, Patience expands the capacity to love and feel the peace. Patience of the rose and close of the thorn to keep it fragrant. Patience that gives that male camel. Still nursing to the third year for the patience that the prophets showed to us. Beauty for the careful sewing of the shirt and the patience that it contains. The friendship, loyalty, high patience for the strength of the connections. Feeling lonely, ignorant. Indignitates, indicates that you haven't been patient with those who mix with honey blends for the milk, and you say anything that comes and goes when it rises with the sets. It's not what I love, and everything's with the caravan fire left. It's flare left slow. Alone beside the road, none but the better. What's the strong one to say for the heavens and non-existence? But still you call it whatever the price of vice you sentence. Substance for the working that allowed in some magical reversal to a cure. You see this scorpion pit for the objects of desire, but all the beautiful expanse around it and the dangerous and swarming with the snakes and the ends is how you shred the screen of fear, death, and emptiness, and whatever you how you perverse the attachments to what you want. Now that you have heard me, for the misapprehensions with the listening at the altars and adders for the same subject, string for the parts, pearls. But still you call it whatever the price of vice you sentence. Substance for the working that allowed in some magical reversal to a cure. You see this scorpion pit for the objects of desire, but all the beautiful expanse around it and the dangerous and swarming. The snakes and the ends is how you shred the screen of fear, death, and emptiness, and whatever you how you perverse the attachments to what you want. Now that you have heard me, for the misapprehensions with the listening at the altars and adders for the same subject, string for the parts, pearls, king for the monks, spoils, and adopted for the son, educated for the providing of the royalty, for the boy later made for the vice regent. Regent, seated on the gold throne beside itself. One day you found a young man weeping, while you, for the companion of the emperor, entire nations is rained out. Before you, like stars with the man, the young man, remembering mother but father, but how this could be the way that you fear for the changing of the, which means spread to the end for the spirit, poverty, emptiness, attachment, beliefs, blood ties, to desires, confident habits, and not listening to, the seem to protect but the imprison. They're the worst enemies, and they make you afraid for the living emptiness, and someday you feel weep with the tears of the delight in the coat. Remember the mistaken the parents, know for the embodied your nature and spirit, help it grow for the growing your vice. Body becomes eventually like a vest in the chainmail for the peaceful years, not too hot. Summer then too cold to the return of the bodies of desires. Another way for the unpredictable associate, whom you must be a patient with and the companion, helpful. Patience expands the capacity to love and feel the peace. Patience of the rose and close of the thorn and keeping it fragrant. Patience that gives that male camel, still nursing to the third year for the patience of what the prophets showed to us. Beauty for the careful sewing of the shirt and the patience that it contains. The friendship, loyalty, high patience for the strength of the connection. Feeling lonely, ignorant. Indicates that you haven't been patient with those who mix with honey blends for the milk, and you say anything that comes and goes when it rises with the sets. It's not what I love, and everything's with the caravan fire left. It's flare left slow. Alone beside the road, none but the better. What's the strong one to say for the heavens and non-existence?
But still you call it
Guess it's more like the unseen progress of a man being the flute of music and Lee or violin for the mountains to echo in the lead move to the defeat of her victory. Lions emblazoned high on the flags, unfurled for the wind, invisible for the sweeping through the first appeared for the realm and iron and mate. These then came to the world for the plants, living for the end life for the many years, the calling of the mind. What
he had been taken for the onward way, for the animal existence and more. Remember it was not for the life, vegetative, safe when he feels himself move and desire to towards in the season and seek sweet flowers and the babes that seeks with the breast and not know why. Against why, his creators why, there you know, uplifted from the inanimate. Man's estate from realm to realm, advancing into becoming intelligent, and you can be keen of a wit. He is now, for the no memory of the past abides with him, and for the reason so with the changes to be abode. Though he's falling asleep, and God will not leave him, not forgetfulness and waking. Will laugh to think what troubled dreams he had, and one of his happy state of being. He could never forget and perceive that all of those pains.
Guess it's more like the unseen.
Guess it's more like the unseen progress of man. Guess it's more like the unseen progress of a man. Being through the music and Lee are vying then for the mountains to echo and thee move to the defeat of her victory, lions, emblazoned high on the flags, unfurled for the wind, invisible for the sweeping. Guess it's more like the unseen progress of a man. Guess it's more like the unseen progress of a man. Being through the music and Lee are vying then for the mountains to echo and thee move to the defeat of her victory, lions, emblazoned high on the flags, unfurled for the wind, invisible for the sweeping through the. First appeared for the realm and iron and mate. These then came to the world for the plants, living for the life for the many years in the calling of the mind. What he had been taken for the onward way, for the animal existence and more. Remember it was not for the life, vegetative, safe when he feels himself move and desire to towards in the season and seek sweet flowers and the babes that seeks with the breast and not know why. Against why, his creators why, there you know, uplifted from the inanimate. Man's estate from the realm to realm, advancing into becoming intelligent, and you can be keen of a wit. He is now, for the no memory of the past abides with him, and for the reason souls and for the changes to be abode. Though he's falling asleep, and God will not leave him, not forgetfulness and waking. Will laugh to think what troubled dreams he had, and one of his happy state of being. He could never forget and perceive that all those pains. Sorrow was so effective, sleep for the God for the vain, illusion for this world to seem lasting and know that this sleeper's dream who, when he appointed by day, shall be dawn. Escapes for the darkening, the imagining, the haunting, and the turning with the laughter, the fancy, with the grief, and holding for the everlasting home. And the reality and appearance and light that makes the color visible over night. The green was her vanishing from the sight. So see the life of the darkness of the mating and unknown, and God is seeing all, denies himself, and turning the immortal eyes with the dark jungle and the tiger. Right. For the views of the kite, the lion spirit leaps to the lift. Made a far of a journey, earth far, city to the view. Loves those city I knew for the person who died for the city's worth, and turned to the folly for the wandering of the earth, and those so sweet. Must need a pass for the cattle, graze for the green grass, maize for the leaf for the eating and looking, celestial meat for the assist of the vine, the voice to love, the rope, the tape to drum to the yet. You can find the paper singing the all fall, inhabiting for the snake I crab, without foot or wing, that wine, that was the laughter of the grace to sip. The rose to the taste of it without the throat or lip. Spirit that goes with the journey for the long voice and said, then you go home for the traveling I made. And much I cried for the never loving golden raiment and only great woes. Even though I could shrink to be gone from here for them, never so dancing in my pardon, did I fear that I spirit let go. Or maybe I should be in the night for these the next of vain. Maybe that this the enchant for the mating and much to the God, for the love God, for the enchantment, for the capturing me a while, for the ignorance and the when my wings spread wide, palancing into the prison I swiftly sped. Until what I tell, I come for the pen is broken down, maybe. Part of the life for the night rightly balanced for the cold sleepers to browse and wherever I fall. Hundreds of thousands of years, maybe the dust grains, and floating and flying and wheeled over the air, for the forgetting of ever being of the state. Sleep, migrate back to the spring loose, for the fourth branch time, spring for the crossing of the waiting room, wake for the huge pasture, nurse for the milk of the millennia. Everything with its difficult ways and only knowing the consciousness of decisions and personal memory too much small to place. Every human is being streamed for the night, loving nowhere for the during the day, for the some are to over and work. You can find these through the ways of passion. Guess it's more like the unseen.
Echoing in the to the defeat of her victory, the lions, blazing high on the flags, unfurled for the wind, invisible, feels himself move and desire the towards in the season seeks sweet flowers and the babes that seeks the breast and not know why. Against why, his creator's why. There you know, uplifted from the anatomy. Man's to stay from the front where to rare and fascinated to becoming intelligent and to be keen of the wit. He is not the memory of the past abides with him and for the person reasons of the shade is me above. He's fallen asleep and God will not leave him not forgetfulness and waking. Will laugh to think.
Guess it's more like the unseen progress of a man being fluid music and the are of iron then for the mountains to echoing in the move to the defeat of her victory lions emblazoned high on the flags unfurled for the wind invisible for the sweeping through the first appeared for the realm and iron and mate these then came to the world for the plants living for the end life for the many years in the calling of the mind what he had been taken for the onward way for the animal existence and more remember it was not for the life vegetative safe when he feels himself move and desire the towards in the season and seeks sweet flowers and the babes that seek to the breast and not know why. Against why, his creator's why. There you know, uplifted from the inanimate. Man's to stay from the from realm to realm and advancing into becoming intelligent and you can be keen of the wit. He is now for the no memory of the past abides with him and for the reason souls and for the changes to be at bow. Though he's falling asleep and God will not leave him not forgetfulness and waking. Will laugh to think what troubled dreams he had, and one of his happy state of being. He could never forget and perceive that all those pains. Sorrow was so effective to sleep with a God for the vain, illusion for this world to seem lasting and know that this sleeper's dream who, when he appointed by day shall be dawn. Escapes for the darkening and imagining and the haunting him and the turning with the laughter, the fancy with the grief and holding for the everlasting home. And the reality and appearance and light that makes the color visible over night. The green was her vanish for the sight. So see the life of the darkness and the mating and the known that God is seeing all denies himself in eternity in immortal eyes with the dark jungle and the tiger. Bright for the views with the lion spirit leaps to the lift. Made afar of a journey, earth far, city to the view. Loves those city I knew for the verse and knew not for the city's worth and turned to the folly for the wandering of the earth and those so sweet. Must need a pass for the cattle, graze for the green grass, maize for the leaf for the eating, and the celestial meat for the assist of the vine, the voice, the love, the word, the tape, the drum, to the yet. You can find the paper singing the all fall, inhabiting for the snake I crept, without foot or wing, that wine, that was the laughter, the grace to sip, the rose that I tasted it without the throat or lip, spirit that goes for the journey for the long voice, and said, then you go home for the traveling I made them, much I cried for the never loving golden raiment and only great woes, even though I could shrink. To be gone from here for them, ever so thin and apart, and did I fear that I spared that go? Or maybe I should be in the night for thee, for these the next the vain. Maybe that this the enchant for the mating and much to the God, for the love God, for the enchantment, for the capturing me a while, for the ignorance and the when my wings spread wide, palancing into the prison I swiftly sped, until will I tell, I come, for the pen is broken, I'm done, maybe. Part of the lie for the night rightly balanced, for the cold sleepers do browsing wherever I fall. Hundreds of thousands of years, maybe the dust grains, and floating and flying in wheel over the air, for the forgetting of the ever being with the state. Sleep, migrate back to the spring loose, for the fourth branch time. Spring for the crossing the waiting room, wake for the huge pasture, nurse for the milk of the millennia. Everything with its difficult ways and only knowing the consciousness of the decisions and personal memory too much small to place. Every human is being streamed for the night, loving nowhere for the during the day, for the sun arms over and work. You can find these through the ways of passion. Guess it's more like the unseen.
Left in a row, hand bare to stare. Where did you go to nowhere? What did you have that to eat? But nothing you had to fast for the changing of the slow for the huge, foolish project. Makes huge. Absolutely no difference in what people think of you. Die for the minerality to become a vegetable for the animality and becoming a man and why you fear disappearance for. Next time I shall bring forth the wings and the feathers like the angels and soaring higher than the angels and whether you cannot imagine that shall be or not. So receives for the soul their knowledge and therefore not the book for the tongue. Knowledge of the mysteries and comforting, emptiness of the mind. Illumination of the heart. If thou activate, really, and see at every moment of the response, and be the action observed, and whatever is pure heart, and something is born to you, your consequence of every action. You be harsh like such. Reply with for good for the ransom of spite, whoever enters. Smite on the brow, for this shrine for the love. Fool, you sheep for the coat, and rub thy eyes for the image of the heart. Make yourself wrong for the self, for the one stroke, for the sword, for the never to trace, and the soft iron for the steel mirror. Cast a squire, rest off for the contribution of the star without a name. It's marvelous, departed, gone to the unseen. What marvelous route did you take for the world becoming? Beating with the wings and feather you broke for the free, for the cage, and rising up to the sky and tame for the red soul in your river. Prize falcon, trapped by an old woman with the hard drummer's call for the flowing of the beyond space and time. Lovesick, nightingale with the hue and flow and long owls. Came to the center rose garden, flow off to meet the rose. Wind to the fleeting world cause you heal the ache. Finally you joined to the tide and turned it like an arrow. Spared for the bow and went straight to the bullseye for the bliss and phantom for giving you false sighs and turned for the illusion of your journey. Land of the truth. Now the sun, having to reach for the crow, having to vanishing from this world, but you never have the time for you to bow. Only her can barely see the soul, but you, why look at all yours is the soul of souls, of the seer for the old heart, wonderful bird I am, seeking divine heights and the flapping of the wings, and you smash pointed spears of your enemy. Flowers flee, autumn, but you are the fearless rose that grows amidst the freezing wind, pouring down like rain of heaven, fall upon rooftops with the disk and ran into every direction, escaped through the drain sprout. Now the words are over for the pain, green is gone, and now you have gone to rest for the arms beloved. But get away for the falcon, songbird putting with the owls to the smell for the odor of the garden, you feel something fermented for the tavern, went arrow to the target. Bow for the time and place, the man stays in the cemetery, printed the way, but you didn't became the light, became wonderful, the famous and famous, and why you being engraved the velvet heart for living in the center. Living in the center, with the flying over the thankfulness and becoming ever rarer bird and with one wing for the field, and you hope to be autumn and rose blowing on the ground for the cold wind and the rain on the roof and down and by the spout. Passes it containing the pain down to rest and rest. You found a friend to be with. He comes. 4 copies of Heaven's Angels and 4 pictures molded in decay, and how although your beauty break and fall, which them to give life for the dew and air, the earth and bags with the heart with idle woes, and how this culture for the encounterment of the rapture with the ear and the glass landscapes. Regular listening shows and fake Paris, but it's only as we feel. Far away from the living foundations and you from the brook and tranquil to the main staring barren to the fountain, never died for these and foolish and raised in vain. Rightly no soul went through. Created things in doubt the river, and you seized the flow of God, sickness and silence with everlasting springs. Farewell to the sorrow for the quiet mind drink long and deep. Others finally deem for the channel empty in perchance by finding unfathomable dreams and streams in the moment that you can find this low worst world. Last given for the latter is whereby you can find inspired for the steps.
Many of the original team worked here to bring information and create this vast information center that was to be used to connect many galactic systems. Then there was a great war among the creator gods and the space beings whose stories are in the ancient manuscripts of this planet, won the fight. They came here because they wanted this place for many of their own reasons. In Prime Creator's universe here,